In this short documentary, you will learn about the journey that White Valley Studios has taken to develop the game Frostbitten, as told from the perspective of leadership. I'm Vanessa Seymour, the creative director.
My name is Samantha Barisonte. I am the producer.
My name is Gary Carrasco. I was the art lead.
My name is Kayla Hoyt, and I'm the design lead.
My name is Alexander Isa. I'm the code lead for Frostbitten.
And on behalf of White Valley Studios, we hope you enjoy.
My favorite part of making this game was the ability to see it from conception to full, playable experience. Being on the team from start to finish and being able to be proud of the product that we made in the end. I guess the whole thing was my favorite part. It's been very rough, obviously, but that's game development. Having to fix all these crashing bugs and staying up with the team till like 2 a.m. But it's all been very, very fun as well. I think we have an incredible team that has put in a lot of work. So I'm proud of the whole thing.
My favorite part of making this game was planning out and designing the different areas of the White Valley National Park. Each location was heavily influenced by the narrative, and it was fun to work out what pickups the player would be able to obtain in order to learn more about Josh's whereabouts. Seeing the project progress over time with all the hard work the team put into the game was also a favorite part of mine. Everyone on my team became more confident using Unreal Engine 4, even though some have not had any prior experience with the engine beforehand.
One of my favorite parts of working on this, huge project was meeting all the different kinds of people that be working on it. A lot of us came from different backgrounds, not just in life, but also in interest, right? Many of us have differing tastes in games. Some of us had never even played a horror game before. So it was really fun seeing everyone's different personalities and different tastes kind of come to meet together to make this solidified unit, right, of combined differences, right?
My favorite part of making Frostbitten was probably having the team and communicating with my team. They were all very communicative and very understandable and hardworking people that made it 10 times easier to work together with them to create such an amazing project together. As for coding, it would have to be coding the frost stalker and the blinking mechanic. I probably had the most fun with that, even though it was the most complicated thing. It still made me feel the best when I finished it and saw that it was working pretty well.
I would say that my favorite part of making this game was being able to see a vision that I created come to life with the team of talented people. We all had different backgrounds, and we came together to make one cohesive game that has been really good, and I think it's something to be proud of.
I would say the biggest challenge I faced in terms of project management was going from this one map idea, this single, we wanted to do this huge map and just have the player walk through, and, there's no breaks or loading screens or anything like that. That was proving a big challenge for us. So having to, make that call with leadership of, hey, I think we should actually just scrap this idea altogether. And that is when the campgrounds was born. The creation of the campgrounds was simultaneously our biggest challenge and our biggest success, I would say.
The biggest challenge for the design team was probably managing lighting in Unreal Engine 4. I think that Unreal Engine offers a lot of flexibility when it comes to designing lighting, but building the lighting took many, many painful hours to complete. One of the worst things about this is that if an asset is moved 1 centimeter away, the lighting must be rebuilt for that level, and the entire process has to restart.
My code team's biggest challenge was definitely the frost stalker balancing, and specifically in the campgrounds. Um, a lot of people said it was too hard, which it was at the beginning because he would spawn like directly behind you, and he'd also be insanely fast. So if you looked away, you're probably gonna die of unknown reasons because there was no death indicator either. So it would just kill you and you die. And a lot of people are getting frustrated with this, which makes sense because they don't know the spawn points like we do.
We came to the conclusion that we wanted to do something more realistic, right? And so we leaned away from anything too stylized. We wanted to stay grounded in reality for the most part. And so we leaned into doing higher quality textures and like medium poly models. And all of us take great pride in our work, so it was very easy for us to get caught up in all the little details, right? Because that was the thing, right? We wanted to make it look so good. Several times we went over many different assets. Honestly, it feels like we've almost made the game twice over at some points because we wanted to make sure it was up to our own expectations, right? And that was really difficult because you're your own hardest critic. Artists especially, we're the biggest culprits of that.
I think my biggest challenge as creative director was learning how to lead a team that has been the most people I've ever had to work with before. Also, making sure that everybody understood what was going on with the game, how the vision was supposed to be realized. It was very fun brainstorming with so many different minds, but it was challenging to make sure that everybody stayed on the same page and was pleased with the work that they were doing.
I guess the whole thing was my favorite part. It's been very rough, obviously, but that's game development. Having to fix all these crashing bugs and staying up with the team till like 2 in the morning. But it's all been very, very fun as well. I think we have an incredible team that has put in a lot of work. So I'm proud of the whole thing. I think that my favorite section now is probably the house. I think it looks the coolest. It sounds the coolest in terms of like sound design and music. I think that the just the whole aesthetic of it and the narrative behind all of the different rooms, I think is just it's really, really cool.
The section that I enjoyed the most was Thomas's childhood home and the rooms that led to different stages of Thomas's life. The hallway in the house was designed after the hallway seen in Konami's playful teaser, and the dark lighting designed for it, combined with the tight interior, humming of the ceiling lights, and the suspenseful music, made the environment spooky and unsettling.
So I guess getting into more personal feelings, like favorite bits of the game, I I had a lot of fun being like the co-creative director, right? Me and Vanessa Seymour really, birthed this from a combination of ideas, and so it was really exciting to see how we evolved on it. And that one of my favorite evolutions of it would be the VHS tapes. I'm a big fan of horror in general, and analog horror as a recent development in the genre was super fun to be able to add, because it just had, just turned out that like, hey, this is a game that takes place in a time that matches up with the analog horror genre, the 90s.
My favorite section in the game is the campgrounds because, as I mentioned, campgrounds is the showcase of all my code team's work because it includes the frost stalker, it includes the shoveling mechanic, the inventory, booleans everywhere, all that fun stuff, like the widgets, all that is in the campgrounds. And I feel like personally, the campgrounds is where the gameplay shines. It's where it actually feels like you're like playing a challenging game and less of I'm going through a story. It's more like I'm playing a video game right now, which is cool. And I like that. I would say my second favorite section, just since we're here, um, is the childhood home, childhood room. Being able to code the toys that change locations every time you blink was pretty fun. And making it so that a jump scare happens when all of them are done was pretty simple, but pretty entertaining nonetheless. Another one of my favorite sections in the game was definitely the chapter 3, the last level. Coding that quick time event, or in other words, QTE, was very tough. I tried to do it alone at first, but I had to refer to videos and tutorials. But from that tutorial, it didn't give me everything I needed, so I had to tweak this person's code to make it fit our game and work in a cinematic as seen through the game.
I would say my favorite section of the game was the ending. Throughout this project, I was beginning to learn a lot more about cinematic design and implementation, and I got to really showcase what I had learned and the skills that I've gained in the last section with the ending cinematics. I also worked alongside our code lead, Alex Issa, to create the QTE cinematics while he coded in the events that would play with them. We hope you enjoyed the documentary and thank you for watching. And don't forget to play Frostbitten.